At exactly 1818 local time on June 5th, a sudden explosion tore through an unassuming auto parts store in South Lebanon. What looked like an ordinary storefront was, in reality, a concealed hub for Hezbollah operations. This was no random blast. 4 Israeli F-16 fighter jets had just executed a precision strike, each deploying a Rafael Spice 2000 bomb capable of hitting a single window from 60 kilometers away. What made this operation unprecedented was not just the accuracy of the munitions, but the coordination required to penetrate Lebanon's layered defenses and strike deep underground, all without a single Israeli pilot casualty. Find out how this level of precision was achieved and what technologies allowed these bombs to bypass jamming and decoy signals in one of the world's most densely populated urban environments. To understand how such accuracy is possible, it's essential to examine the tools at the heart of the operation: the Israeli F-16i and the Rafael Spice 2000 guided bomb. The F-16i and F-15 stands out as a single-engine, multi-role fighter designed for missions that demand adaptability and precision in dense, urban environments. Its Pratt & Whitney F-100PW229 engine delivers 29,000 pounds of thrust, allowing the F-16i to carry heavy loads while maneuvering close to rooftops in seconds. This combination of power and agility is critical when the target is concealed among hundreds of similar structures and when the margin for error is virtually non-existent. The F-16i's effectiveness is further enhanced by its advanced electro-optical targeting pods, which provide pilots with real-time, high-resolution imagery of the battlefield. These pods are essential for identifying and designating targets in cluttered urban landscapes, ensuring that pilots can distinguish between legitimate military objectives and civilian infrastructure. During the June 5th operation, this capability allowed Israeli pilots to maintain situational awareness and direct their munitions with a level of accuracy that conventional systems cannot match. Central to this precision is the Rafael Spice 2000, a 2,000-pound bomb that integrates 3 distinct guidance systems: GPS, an inertial navigation system, and electro-optical scene matching. The GPS receiver locks onto multiple satellites, providing the bomb with continuous positional updates as it approaches the target. However, adversaries in the region frequently deploy electronic countermeasures, including GPS jamming and spoofing, to mislead incoming munitions. To counteract this, the Spice 2000 relies on its ring laser gyroscope INS, which maintains accuracy within 30 meters, even if external signals are lost. This redundancy ensures that the bomb remains on course, regardless of the electronic environment. The most advanced feature of the Spice 2000 is its electro-optical scene matching technology. Before a mission, operators upload high-resolution satellite imagery into the bomb's onboard memory, capturing every detail of the target area, from building layouts to distinctive external features. As the bomb descends, a nose-mounted camera records the landscape at 60 frames per second. The onboard computer continuously compares these live images with the stored reference data using sophisticated algorithms for edge detection, pattern matching, and contrast analysis. Processing image recognition in real time demonstrates the bomb's advanced onboard computing and enables it to distinguish the intended target from surrounding structures, even in the presence of decoys or camouflage. This guidance system allows the Spice 2000 to adjust its trajectory mid-flight, ensuring that it strikes precisely where intended. In urban environments where targets may be hidden beneath several layers of concrete or located in the midst of civilian neighborhoods, this capability is indispensable. The bomb's delayed fuse technology further enhances its effectiveness against underground facilities. After penetrating the outer walls of a structure, the fuse delays detonation, allowing the munition to burrow deeper before releasing its destructive force. This is particularly effective against fortified bunkers or weapons caches, ensuring that the strike neutralizes the target without excessive collateral damage. The June 5th operation demonstrated how these technologies converge in practice. F-16i pilots, equipped with advanced targeting pods, navigated low-altitude corridors over densely populated neighborhoods, releasing SPICE 2,000 bombs that performed real-time image matching and course corrections throughout their descent. Underground command centers and weapons storage sites, previously protected by both physical barriers and electronic jamming, were rendered vulnerable to strikes that could bypass both. In an era where urban warfare demands both overwhelming force and surgical precision, the combination of the F-16i and SPICE 2000 sets a new benchmark. Each bomb is capable of striking a specific window from 60 kilometers away, minimizing unintended damage and adhering to strict operational requirements. The result is a system that not only delivers destructive power, but does so with a degree of control that was once unimaginable. Even with such advanced munitions, Israel's planners ensured civilian safety and real-time intelligence, via public warnings we'll cover next. Why would a military force preparing for a precision airstrike broadcast its intentions to the world an hour before the operation? For Israel, issuing pre-strike warnings on platforms like Twitter and Telegram is not an act of chance. It is a calculated strategy combining tactical advantage, legal compliance, and real-time intelligence gathering. Roughly 60 minutes before the June 5th operation, Israeli channels released satellite images with red circles around specific buildings in South Beirut and South Lebanon. These public alerts did more than just draw attention. They provided a clear and immediate signal to those in the targeted areas. Civilians were encouraged to leave, and the warnings met international law's requirement to warn civilians when feasible. The clarity of the images and the explicit timing left little ambiguity about what was coming. For those on the ground, the countdown was both a warning and a directive to evacuate. Yet, the function of these alerts extended beyond humanitarian compliance. Each warning became an opportunity to observe and interpret the environment around the designated targets. As soon as the alerts went live, surveillance assets, especially drones, monitored the area. Analysts noted which buildings emptied immediately and which remained occupied. This real-time observation revealed critical details. Buildings that emptied quickly often confirmed the presence of civilians or non-combatants, while those that stayed occupied raised suspicions about their purpose or the intentions of those inside. Such patterns help validate or update existing intelligence, allowing planners to adjust priorities and refine targeting protocols with greater confidence. The warnings also played a direct role in shaping the psychological landscape of the battlefield. By identifying targets so publicly, Israel forced adversaries into a dilemma: abandon valuable equipment and infrastructure or risk personnel and assets by staying put. This tactic forced Hezbollah to choose between preserving equipment or risking lives. The psychological effect was immediate, a visible demonstration that their locations were compromised and under surveillance. The marked images did not just warn, they unsettled, undermining the adversary's sense of security and control over their own environment. For operational planners, the 60-minute interval before the strike was a critical window. It allowed for continuous monitoring of evacuation routes, the pace of departures, and the behavior of those in the vicinity. Drone feeds and other surveillance tools captured the movement of people and vehicles, providing granular intelligence about how the warnings were received and acted upon. The distinction between buildings that cleared out and those that stayed active gave planners actionable information. Adjustments could be made in real time, ensuring that the strikes were as precise as possible and that the risk to civilians was minimized. The transparency of the process bolsters Israel's legal position and helps shape the broader narrative around the strikes, emphasizing adherence to established protocols and the prioritization of civilian safety. At the same time, the warnings allowed for a level of operational control that would be difficult to achieve through traditional means. Real-time surveillance of evacuation efforts gave commanders up-to-the-minute feedback, enabling them to confirm that civilians had evacuated before authorizing the final attack. This adaptability reduced the likelihood of unintended casualties and added a layer of flexibility to the mission that static targeting methods cannot provide. The broader impact of this approach extended to the adversary's strategic calculus. By making clear that specific Hezbollah-linked infrastructure was being targeted, Israel demonstrated its ability to gather, analyze, and act on precise intelligence. The public nature of the warnings sent a message about the reach and sophistication of Israeli intelligence and targeting capabilities. However, these alerts were not simply a matter of public communication. They represented a careful balance, using transparency to achieve both tactical and humanitarian objectives. By the time bombs fell, the battlefield had already been shaped by intelligence gained through the warnings. The next challenge was ensuring that the F-16i jets could enter hostile airspace undetected, despite the presence of advanced radar systems from multiple countries. The key to this operation's success was the ability to move through the most heavily monitored airspace in the region without being tracked or intercepted. This was achieved through the Sky Shield electronic warfare pods mounted on each F-16i Super jet. These pods provided a decisive edge, allowing the jets to manipulate and disrupt enemy radar signals, effectively rendering themselves invisible to Lebanon's air defense network. The technology behind Sky Shield was not an afterthought. It was a deliberate solution to the challenges posed by a complex, multi-layered radar environment. Lebanon's air defense relied on a patchwork of Soviet-era, French and Chinese radars. While individually these systems varied in age and sophistication, together they formed an overlapping network designed to detect and track hostile aircraft. The diversity of radar types meant that any electronic warfare system had to be both flexible and comprehensive, capable of countering a wide range of frequencies and signal processing techniques. The Sky Shield pods address this challenge with a core technology: Digital Radio Frequency Memory, or DRFM. DRFM captures, alters, and retransmits radar pulses to create multiple false targets at varied ranges and speeds. When a Lebanese radar sent out a pulse in search of incoming aircraft, the Sky Shield pod would intercept that pulse, modify its characteristics, and send it back in altered form. As a result, radar operators would see not one, but several echoes, some appearing closer, others farther away, some moving at plausible speeds, others shifting unpredictably. This electronic manipulation produced a radar picture so chaotic that distinguishing genuine threats from decoys became nearly impossible. Instead of tracking a single formation, the air defense network was forced to contend with a shifting array of phantom contacts. Crucial to the Sky Shield's effectiveness was its threat library, a comprehensive database of electronic signatures from radar systems worldwide. Before the operation, the pods were loaded with profiles for the Soviet, French, and Chinese radars present in Lebanon. When the jets entered hostile airspace, the pods automatically identified radar emissions, categorized the threat level, and allocated jamming resources accordingly. For more advanced or long-range systems, such as the Chinese JY-27A, the pods concentrated additional jamming power, ensuring that even the most capable radars were neutralized. Coordination among the F-16i jets further enhanced the electronic warfare effort. The lead jet acted as a jammer lighthouse on key frequencies, broadcasting sustained interference to blind the most threatening radars. The wingmen activated Firefly mode, brief, randomized bursts of jamming that appeared and disappeared across the spectrum. This combination of persistent and sporadic jamming created a dynamic environment in which radar operators could not establish a clear track, further masking the jet's true positions and movements. The impact on Lebanese air defense personnel was immediate and profound. Military radar screens filled with impossible contacts, formations that appeared, shifted, and vanished without warning. Controllers could not distinguish real jets from decoys, while civilian transponders continued to display normal air traffic. The confusion paralyzed decision-making, preventing effective tracking or targeting of the incoming strike package. Operating at low altitude, the F-16i jets took advantage of the electronic bubble created by Sky Shield. This allowed them to fly close to rooftops and minimize exposure, an essential factor for urban operations where precision and discretion are paramount. The electronic warfare pods not only concealed the jets from detection, but also enabled them to approach their targets on their own terms, free from interference by ground-based defenses. With radar blindfolded, the F-16is dived low for the Spice 2000 release. Accuracy now in the bomb's hands. At precisely 1818, the calm of Beirut's southern suburbs was shattered, chosen for its strategic value. And the mission demanded not only hitting the right buildings, but delivering warheads to precise points deep within, where they would inflict maximum disruption. The Spice 2000, featuring a Blue 109 penetrator warhead and delayed fuse, was engineered for these fortified urban environments. On impact, the first warhead struck the roof at 267 meters per second, over Mach 0.8, driving through multiple floors before embedding itself in the basement ceiling. The delayed fuse allowed the bomb to reach the building's core before detonation, amplifying the destructive effect by using the structure's own confinement to intensify the blast. The subsequent explosions from the remaining bombs followed within seconds, each one targeting a separate facility with similar precision. Multi-level collapses ensued, sending mushroom clouds over southern Beirut. Shockwaves tore through adjacent structures, and the compounded force of the detonations created complex interference patterns, amplifying the devastation within the tightly packed urban landscape. By 1820, the skyline of the targeted district had been transformed. The effect was immediate and unmistakable. Multiple mushroom clouds signaled the destruction of sites critical to Hezbollah's logistics, drone operations, weapons storage, and communications. The pilots, having completed their bombing runs, executed a rapid withdrawal, relying on Sky Shield jamming pods to project false radar images and evade any remaining air defense threats. This swift exit was essential, reducing exposure and ensuring the safety of the strike package as it returned to the Mediterranean. The operation's second phase commenced at 1842, as two F-15 Ra'am fighters entered the airspace at 30,000 feet, each carrying a GBU-28 bunker buster. These bombs, weighing 10,000 pounds apiece, were designed for deep penetration of hardened underground targets. The new objective, a suspected Hezbollah command bunker near Ankara, identified through extensive intelligence collection as a high-probability command or manufacturing site. The F-15s released their GBU-28s from 35,000 feet, maximizing kinetic energy for penetration. As the bombs plummeted, laser guidance activated at 2,000 feet, homing in on the bunker's roof. The first bomb impacted the hillside at 312 meters per second, burrowing 27 meters underground before the 0.5-second delay triggered detonation. The second GBU-28 struck 2 seconds later, bracketing the bunker complex. The explosions unleashed 630 kilograms of trinal explosive, their force magnified by the confined space, and were followed by secondary blasts that confirmed the presence of munitions and equipment within the facility. At 1845, the hillside near Ankara erupted, leaving behind a crater 60 meters wide. The scale of the destruction provided clear evidence of the bunker's obliteration. The secondary explosions further validated the intelligence that had guided the strike, as stored weapons and supplies ignited in rapid succession. In less than 30 minutes, both strike waves had neutralized key Hezbollah sites, above and below ground, without a single Israeli loss. The aftermath extended beyond physical destruction. The strikes severed critical logistics and communications, undermined Hezbollah's ability to operate from hardened underground sites, and demonstrated the reach and precision of modern air power. The operation's success rested on the seamless integration of intelligence, advanced munitions, and electronic warfare, setting a new benchmark for coordinated airstrikes in dense, contested environments. This series of events did more than reshape the landscape. It revealed a new level of operational sophistication. The lessons from June 5th would echo beyond the immediate aftermath, challenging adversaries to adapt and raising new questions about the future of precision warfare. Rather than relying on overwhelming force alone, the June 5th operation illustrated how precision warfare depends on the seamless integration of intelligence, technology, and strategy. By combining real-time surveillance, electronic warfare, and advanced munitions such as the Spice 2000 and GBU-28, Israel neutralized hardened and concealed targets with minimal collateral damage. Analysts noted this operation demonstrated seamless integration of real-time intelligence, psychological operations, and electronic warfare to achieve a high degree of accuracy against complex targets. This case shows how precision strikes blend technology and tactics to hit underground and urban sites, an evolution in air power strategy. If you found this breakdown insightful, hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into modern air warfare.